So welcome to a behind the scenes video about 3D printing and running a YouTube channel around that, and also a 3D printing business. And I thought I would do one of these probably once a month to give you a bit of a peek behind the curtains as to the chaos that goes into this and answer any other frequently asked questions I've been getting as well. So if you've got any questions about running a hobby YouTube channel or a 3D printing YouTube channel, or printing for business and all of that jazz, throw them down in the comments. I'll do my best to answer those when I get onto the next one. Now, first off, apologies for the mess. I am still in the process of sorting out this entire space, and there's a lot of crap that needs to get taken to the tip. That will happen. And that will happen very soon, hopefully, because it is becoming an absolute mess. So if you don't know who I am Sean, and welcome to the channel. I run a 3D printing and hobby YouTube channel, or at least I try to, and I hopefully will be able to answer some of your questions and stuff like that. And in these videos, I'll just be focusing on things like those questions about running the channels, the things that maybe are changing and stuff that's going on behind the scenes, and just some industry news as well. Now, it would be wrong of me not to kick this off, I guess, by answering probably the biggest burning question of, am I getting the new Bambu Lab printer? And the short answer is no. And I was going to make a dedicated video for this, but I couldn't bring myself to do the typical YouTuber clickbait thing of why I'm not buying the brand new Bambu Lab printer with the shocked face of, oh, everyone loves a bit of negativity, and I'm sure that would have got loads and loads of views and hits, but I'll answer it now. Honestly, the short answer is that it costs too much and I can't justify it for my workflow. I honestly think it looks like a really good printer. It ticks a lot of the boxes that I was looking for, but in all honesty, I'm just going to wait until they bring out a P1S variant or an A1 variant or something like that, because we all know that this is their flagship where they can charge as much as they want and throw as many random features into it as they want to, and people will buy it. It's already sold out in the UK, at least last I checked. So, no, I can't justify the cost for my workflow at the moment. A simple Bambu Lab A1 that I've got up here will do everything I need it to. So I've got, at the moment, obviously, A1 behind me, A1 Mini, and then if we drop down, we've got the P1S, two P1Ss. I don't need all of that. So for the cost of it, I could buy myself a lot of A1s, and that would do just as much as I need it to. Obviously, the bigger print bed looks really appealing, but if you're already watching this channel, then chances are you are 3D printing stuff for wargaming, like terrain. And for the most part, the P1S, the A1, does it perfectly fine. I don't really need it. If you're doing props and stuff like that, like big helmets, you want to print them all off in one piece, yeah, that kind of makes sense. But for me, it doesn't make sense. It looks like an awesome machine, and honestly, it's quite reasonably priced because you can buy it without all the fangled lasers and everything else. Then, in my opinion, I would recommend don't buy it with a laser unless you absolutely needed it to, but if you do need it to, then go for it. But you can buy it without all of that. The two print heads on that, fantastic, because that's going to help to cut down on the waste when it comes to the AMS and your multicolor printing. I've been doing a lot more multicolor printing recently, so that would be nice, but again, it's a lot of money for that. The thing that I really, really like the look of is their new AMS, and hats off to them. The new AMS is backwards compatible, so you can use their brand new AMS with the A1, you can use it with the P1S, the P1P, basically it works with all of their machines. And apparently a software update will be coming out down the line, which will enable you to use the new AMS and a standard AMS Lite with the A1 Mini and the A1, which is great, so you'll be able to use multiple of those. So hats off to them for doing that. It doesn't cost much more than the standard AMS. I hate their standard AMS. I think it's absolute crap. I understand that's probably an isolated thing. Mine just doesn't work very well, never has. Whereas I understand a lot of people get really good results from it. The AMS Lite is fantastic. It works every time for me. So it's nice to see they've made a lot of refinements to the new AMS. I'm very tempted by that. But at this stage, again, I don't do enough multi-material printing to justify the cost. But I probably will take the plunge at some stage. Now, the eagle-eyed amongst you might be going, wow, you're a YouTuber. And you cover these things a lot. So therefore, you must make a lot of money from them. Unfortunately, I don't really make much money at all from Bambu Lab because A, I don't have an affiliate program with them. So any sales that they make, and they probably make quite a lot, I don't get any kickback from them. I have zero affiliate links when it comes to Bambu Lab, which makes me a sad panda. Would be lovely to have, but I don't have them. And then YouTube ads. I make money, obviously, on YouTube and YouTube ads. I make a bit of money. It's not much. It doesn't cover the cost of the machine. So that big upfront cost, as I say, I can't justify it. And then it's the size of the thing as well. At this stage, I just don't need it. Until I sort this space out. And if things start to take off a little bit more with the stuff that I've been printing to sell, then maybe down the line, we'll see. But I honestly think there will be a new P12 version coming out, or a P2S. I'm not going to try and do the naming conventions, but I think there'll be a new, more budget-friendly one coming around the corner. However, it does look like a really good machine. I will be cautious. I said there about not buying the laser, and I just think it's a bit of a Swiss Army knife at the moment. And if you want a laser, then get a dedicated laser and the setup and everything. My major concern with the laser, because I've done laser engraving and laser cutting before, and I've done it once on the channel, is it's messy. It's really, really messy. There's just a lot, obviously, charred material. And it's also dangerous as well. If you don't get it right, you're putting off a lot of fumes and harmful chemicals into the air. I just think it's a bit of a recipe for disaster, because this is so easy to pick up and get going with. You might get a lot of new hobbyists that also go, oh, I'm going to get into a laser, without necessarily doing all their due diligence. I know it's got a lot of safety bits on the machine, but I would just be cautious. It seems like a bit of an odd thing to combine. And as well, considering that it gives off so much mess, and laser engraving and cutting and everything else is a really messy process, I wouldn't want to combine that with my 3D printers, because then you're getting all of that charred crap stuck around it. But again, more power to you if you can maintain your machines, and you absolutely need that do everything machine. Looks interesting. I prefer the cutting bit that it's got, and the pen drawing seems really random as well, but who knows? I'd be interested to see some of the actual proper reviews that haven't been sent out in advance for different people as well, and see what they all say. So I guess moving on to that. So hopefully that answers your question about, will I be buying the new Bambu Lab printer without having to do a clickbaity video? So one thing, as I mentioned at the start, this place is an absolute mess at the moment. I've been completely revamping it and changing things around, and the camera's probably just going to track me instead. But the aim is that I will have all the 3D printers and stuff like that over on one wall. I've got the resin 3D printers down in the bottom at the moment. I'll have to probably crouch rather than move the camera, in the little like grow tent, and that tends to do a really good job of keeping the temperature consistent, fumes for the most part contained. What I am going to be doing in that space that's over there behind me is I've got this cabinet in the house at the moment, which is just, it's awful. I hate it. I'm getting it out of the house, but it would be perfect to fit some resin 3D printers in. So the top part of it will have resin 3D printers. The bottom part, probably like cleaning bit. I'll cut a hole into it and exhaust it. And obviously I can put it over there in that corner with all the resin stuff. So basically my printers, all the cleaning stuff, it'll all be contained, and then I can exhaust everything from there outside. So that's the aim, and it means all the printers will be along one side, and I can organise this space a bit more because it's kind of chaotic at the moment. I also need to move this. So a little while ago, I thought it'd be a great idea to obviously 3D print this, and it's got lights in it and everything. I was so happy with it when I did it. Anyone watching this right now can probably see the issue with it, and the big problem is that when I go to do anything on these machines, I've got to like duck under it to like get to the lights and the power, or to get to my printers. And when I go to do anything with these ones on top, I've got to like reach over it. It's just in the way. Luckily, Foresight Sean put this up, so it's on a bit of wood here, which I can just unscrew and place somewhere else, which brings me on to the rest of this space. So under this is awful. Underneath here, which has got loads of rubbish, I've got these 3D printed shelves, and the aim is that I'll have a backdrop there with lots of stuff, which will hopefully look prettier for some B-roll. Over here, we've got loads and loads of models, lights behind me, do ignore those, and all the printers up there. So it's just having different backdrops to make different things a bit more interesting. Okay, and apparently my storage ran out, although it didn't run out, it's lying, so it cut me off for the last bit. So yeah, lots of 3D printers up there, and that's because most of them have been sent for review, so I don't sell them on afterwards, because otherwise I'm making a profit from that, and it seems unethical. So I need to figure out what to do with those. Probably a giveaway or something, but I guess I need to figure out the logistics around that. It's easier said than done. And then over on this wall, we've got all these, like all my miniatures. So there's a whole bunch more like miniatures and stuff there as well, stuff that I've been printing up. And then up here, some other projects. I've got like this Helldivers helmet, which I absolutely love doing. And then there's Gremlin, which was a really fun project as well. So The aim being lots of different like backdrops and walls for depending on what type of project I'm doing, I can have a different kind of backdrop. And then moving on to like the last thing, which is around content. And the aim is to do more fun content. So going back to basics, how I used to do things, just doing a 3D printed set, painting it up and just having some fun with that and moving away from the chasing of the algorithm stuff. And the reason being is because I recognize I am not going to become a full-time YouTuber. That's just not on the cards. I've got another job, which is like my main thing that I do. And this ultimately is a hobby. And if I wanted to become a full-time YouTuber, I would chase the algorithm properly. And this channel would purely be Bambu Lab focused and resin 3D printing focused. Because that's what YouTube sees me as. It sees me as a 3D printer. And that's what apparently a lot of the wider audience want from the channel. But I, at my heart, see myself as a hobbyist, like a painter. I paint wargaming stuff. I'm all about wargaming. Warhammer, different types of tabletop games. I love it. I love collecting those miniatures and painting them up. So those two things kind of conflict. And just accepting that and wanting to go back to basics a bit more. So you will see less sponsorships, and you probably have seen a lot less sponsors. I don't think I've had one on the channel for ages now. And the reason being is just a lot of them don't gel with my ethos. I've had a lot of sponsors reach out and sometimes offering big money, and you'll have seen these on other channels as well. And I just don't think that you need that repeated again, that same thing of me trying to sell you a service despite it making money in the back end to help the lights stay on and all of that. I don't know. I'm not that way minded at the moment, so probably in the wrong thing here. However, I will still work with brands, and the main reason is working with brands is so much fun. There are so many crazy, incredible people behind the scenes at other brands, and I love working with them, finding out more about what makes them tick. You know, if a printer company reached out to me and said, do you want this new printer? The answer is pretty much yes, unless there's some very big reason why I wouldn't cover that printer. And the reason being is that I currently use Bambu Lab, I currently use the Haygears Reflex RS and the Frozen Sonic Mega 8KS. They are my three main printing brands that I use all the time. The Bambu Lab stuff I purchased, that's all purchased by me. The Haygears and the Frozen was sent over to me. If I don't accept from other brands, it means that I will always remain very much biased towards those brands that I use. So I need to make sure that I stay broadened when I cover those things. Also as well, I have no intention of buying other printers because I just don't need them. So if I don't get sent them, I'm never going to cover them. So it's one of those things, and that's the reason why I would accept them in the future, because it makes sense. If I accept them, I can review them, I can find out actually what is better about those than the stuff that I'm using, and therefore let you guys know as well. And it just stops this from becoming a really bias towards just those. So hopefully you've enjoyed that. I know it's a bit of a chaotic video, this one, and the next one will it might become more structured. I say that now, who knows? The aim, like I said, of this is to do just covering some of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, of running a hobby channel, a 3D printing channel. So if you've got any questions about that, throw it in the comments below. You know, running like an Etsy store that I'm starting to do, doing a bit of a challenge for myself to see how that works and what works, what doesn't, and all of that. Just, yeah, like I say, throw it down in the comments. I've got some videos coming up about like how I film painting of miniatures. I do it the budget way and then the more expensive way as well. Honestly, I just do it the budget way all the time, which is probably not the right way to do it. But again, you can take what you like from this sort of channel and the advice and stuff like that I give and leave the rest. It's completely up to you. In the meantime, stay safe. Hopefully I will see you in the next one. Happy printing, painting, and all of your hobby stuff. Ta-ra!